Welcome to Cache Radio. Your host today is Ann Muller, editor of the Cache Courier and director of Cache, Committee to Abolish Sport Hunting. A big welcome to Frank Hoffman. Thank you, Frank, for being on the program.
You're very welcome.
We're honored to have you as our guest today. Frank Hoffman is a retired pastor and a member of the business community, and his foundation, the Mary T. and Frank L. Hoffman Family Foundation, hosts approximately 24 websites, including the Cache website. Frank, today we'll be focusing on hunting and religion. How is hunting treated in the Bible?
Well, basically, hunting is only mentioned in the Hebrew text, the Old Testament. And hunters are generally looked down upon. They may have been, like Nimrod was, called a man of renown, but it was renowned only because of his power and his power play and as a warrior, not as a compassionate leader. And all of the people that God emulates are the people that have a gentle and contrite spirit. And hunters are looked down upon in the Bible by the Jewish sages, and God never emulates. He never tries to amplify anything good about hunters. He only talks down about the wantonness of the killing. He doesn't specifically attack hunters, but everything in his teaching goes against it. And Esau and Nimrod were not looked upon with favor.
Right. And what do we know about the so-called hunting ministries, such as the Christian Bowhunters of America?
It is a so-called ministry. In our personal opinion, such a, quote, ministry, unquote, is a blasphemy against God. It's people trying to justify their way of life. They don't want to give up hunting, and so they try to attract other hunters in the name of Christ to the church. But to me, that's going totally against his teaching. Jesus always taught us to raise the bar, to take one step higher on the run towards the perfection of God. He even goes so far as to say, you shall be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. So it's that kind of teaching that this doesn't bring out. This brings out the cruel side of human nature and tries to justify it. It is not a ministry.
Yes, it's quite insidious. Do you think that they're having much influence with young people today?
Yes, I do. I think they are with certain areas, particularly in the rural areas. I think they are having that because they're justifying a lifestyle that people didn't normally associate with the Lord, and they're trying to draw them in by saying it's what the Lord wants, and that's what calling it a ministry is. I mean, they even have pastors that are members. And to me, that's totally counter to the teaching. There's no such thing as a hunter rabbi. We would never see this in Judaism. And yet Christianity adopts the whole of the Hebrew text into the Bible and never follows the teaching of the Jewish sages, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're going to accept the Hebrew text, then you have to understand how it's interpreted. And to misinterpret it or to read things into what Jesus says that he didn't say, or to claim that that's what he said when he didn't say it, is totally against his teachings, totally against what I believe the will of God is, and that's why I say it's a form of blasphemy.
Yes, absolutely. How do they differ from plain vanilla hunters, the Christian hunters?
Well, it's not just a Christian hunter, because there are Christian vanilla hunters, too, if you want to put it that way. The thing that bothers me more about an organization that claims to be a ministry is that they're claiming that the killing is of God, and that God smiles on those that take pleasure in causing the death of another living being. And that's what makes it so distasteful in my mouth. That's why I think it's so wrong. It does a tremendous amount of damage. The only people in the Bible that Jesus ever got angry at were the Pharisees, who would not soften their hearts, would not change. And he was the only ones that he really got angry at and called them hypocrites. And one of the things he said was, you go all over the place trying to create one convert, and then you make him twice as much the son of the devil as you are. And I think that's exactly what Christian Bowhunters of America is doing to our youth.
And how do they reach out to members? How do
they use the churches. And if you have a pastor that is a member, he's going to do it for the pulpit. It's really insidious. I think it's horrible.
So are they reaching out to pastors primarily?
No, they're reaching out to everyone. The problem is that there are many clergy in Christendom that are part of that lifestyle. And I can't see that being in any way, shape, or form like Christ. And to be a Christian is to be a follower of Christ. And that certainly isn't following the teachings of Jesus Christ that I know in the Bible.